Welcome to Reading the Bible with Pastor. Today we're on Genesis chapter 31. Jacob must leave Laban and return to his homeland, that is Canaan, because Laban's family is no longer looking with favor upon Jacob. Now Jacob heard that the sons of Laban were saying, "Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and from what was our father's he has gained all his wealth." And Jacob saw that Laban did not regard him with favor as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you." This phrase, "I will be with you," is pretty powerful. It's repeated to Isaac, his father, in Genesis chapter 26, verse 3, and also to Abraham, chapter 17, verse 4, but there is, "My covenant will be with you." It reminds Jacob that God, the Almighty, all-powerful, is watching over him and blessing him in all that he does. And so he will be with him whether he has all the wealth from Laban or he not. He will always be with him, guiding him and directing him to his will. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah into the field where his flock was, and said to them, "I see that your father does not regard me with favor as he did before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I have served your father with all my strength. Yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. But God did not permit him to harm me." This phrase, changing his mind 10 times, it's an expression. It's much the same thing as "it happens a million times." It means that it was a constant thing. He was constantly changing the wages of Jacob. We'll continue with verse 8. "If he said, 'The spotted shall be your wages,' then all the flock bore spotted. And if he said, 'The striped shall be your wages,' then all the flock bore striped. Thus God has taken away the livestock of your father, and given them to me. In the breeding season of the flock I lifted up my eyes, and saw in a dream that the goats were mated with the flock, were striped, spotted, and mottled. Then the angel of the Lord of God said to me in the dream, 'Jacob,' and I said, 'Here I am.' And he said, 'Lift up your eyes, and see, all the goats that mate with the flock are striped, spotted, and mottled. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and made a vow to me. Now arise, go out from this land, and return to the land of your kindred.' Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, 'Is there any portion or inheritance left to us in our father's house? Are we not regarded by him as foreigners? For he has sold us, and he has indeed devoured our money. All the wealth that God has taken away from our father belongs to us and to our children. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do.' Rachel and Leah make it clear to Jacob that their father Laban has not abided by his word, and has indeed stolen their wealth from Jacob. So Jacob arose and set his sons and his wives on camels. He drove away all his livestock, all his property that he had gained, the livestock in his possession that he acquired in Paddan Aram, to go to the land of Canaan, to his father Isaac. Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole her father's household gods. And Jacob tricked Laban the Aramean by not telling him that he intended to flee. He fled with all that he had, and arose and crossed the Euphrates, and set his face toward the hill country of Gilead. Rachel stealing the household gods is not a good thing, whether she meant to spite her father or to grant that she might think that they grant protection. Neither of these were good reasons to steal. And Jacob tricking Laban by leaving without telling him, it was a necessary evil. Yes, it is a sin to lie, but he did it so that he could protect his family. If we are to sin, we should take the lesser of two evils and sin boldly, as Luther tells us. We'll continue with verse 22. "When it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob had fled, he took his kinsman with him, and pursued him for 7 days, and followed him close after him into the hill country of Gilead. But God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night, and said to him, 'Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad.'" We see here that Jacob has to flee from Laban in order to take his possessions and take his family. Next time we'll pick up to see what the interaction is as we read Genesis chapter 31 starting at verse 25. And please subscribe to the channel and share this with others.